In the heart of America's bustling airline industry, David Stevens, the CEO of Horizon Airlines, was grappling with unsettling rumors surrounding his company. For years, he had built a successful empire, but whispers of declining customer service and a toxic workplace culture began to seep through the glossy facade. Determined to uncover the truth, David decided to go undercover as a regular passenger, forsaking his executive perks for a day, hoping to experience the airline from the passenger's perspective. With a simple booking and a false identity, David slipped into an economy-class seat on a flight from New York to Los Angeles. As he settled in, he observed the passengers around him, eager to see how Horizon Airlines treated its customers. Just behind him, a heartfelt conversation caught his attention. A young woman named Mia Thompson was speaking anxiously to an older man named Thomas Bennett. Mia, a college student, was rushing to her mother's side after a sudden health crisis. Her voice trembled with emotion as she expressed her fears of not reaching in time. Thomas, a retired military veteran, provided her with steady reassurance, despite his own sadness. He was flying alone for the first time since losing his wife. The connection between these two strangers highlighted the emotional weight of travel, and David felt a pang of empathy. As the flight crew prepared for takeoff, David noticed a flight attendant named Rachel Adams. Unlike many of her colleagues, Rachel exuded warmth and genuine care. She approached Mia and Thomas with a comforting presence, offering them extra support and understanding. David was struck by her kindness, especially when he contrasted it with the dismissive attitude of her supervisor, Linda Harper, who believed that compassion was a liability in the high-stakes world of air travel. Throughout the flight, Rachel continued to assist passengers with grace, while Linda scolded her for wasting time on personal stories. David's heart sank. This was the culture he had been hearing about, where genuine care was dismissed in favor of efficiency and profit. By the time the plane touched down, David was resolute. He would not reveal his identity just yet, but he knew something needed to change. Back at the Horizon Airlines headquarters, David delved into Rachel's personnel file. What he found was alarming. Despite years of stellar performance and glowing passenger feedback, Rachel had been passed over for promotions time and again. The reason for the rejections was clear: Linda and her circle had been actively blocking her advancement, promoting their friends while sidelining talented employees. Frustrated but determined, David reached out to a former executive, Mark Lewis, who had retired not long ago. Mark confirmed the existence of a toxic culture, where favoritism reigned supreme and genuine talent was stifled. With this information, David called for an emergency meeting with the entire leadership team. On the day of the meeting, tension filled the air as executives filed into the conference room. David stood at the front, ready to address the issues he had uncovered. He began by recounting his undercover experience and called Rachel forward, presenting her impressive record to the room. He highlighted her exceptional service, the emotional connections she forged with passengers, and the repeated rejections she faced. As he spoke, the room fell silent. David turned to Linda, who had been visibly uncomfortable throughout the presentation. "You were on that flight, weren't you, Linda?" he asked, his voice low. The tension in the room was palpable as she stammered a weak affirmation. David continued, "You called Rachel too soft and suggested she'd never move up in this company if she didn't toughen up." The murmurs of disbelief rippled through the crowd. He turned to Rachel and announced her promotion to head of passenger experience, much to the astonishment of everyone present. The room erupted in applause, and David felt a surge of satisfaction as he dismissed Linda from her position. However, the celebration was short-lived. Days later, Rachel began receiving anonymous emails threatening her position. The messages were filled with bitterness and disdain, suggesting that her changes were making powerful enemies within the company. David had warned her that attempts to reform a broken system would likely provoke backlash, and now it seemed to be coming true. As Rachel worked tirelessly to implement her new passenger-first policies, she faced unexpected sabotage. During a crucial presentation, a doctored email that falsely accused her of bribing employees for good reviews appeared on the projector screen. The room erupted in chaos, and Rachel knew she had to act quickly. David stood by her side, demanding an immediate investigation. Determined to uncover the truth, Rachel and David enlisted the help of a former employee who had crucial information about the conspiracy. They learned that Linda and another executive, Carol Webb, had orchestrated the smear campaign to undermine Rachel's authority and regain control of the company. With this information, David devised a plan. He arranged a private meeting with Linda and Carol, where he would confront them with evidence of their wrongdoing. As the meeting unfolded, he played a recording made by the whistleblower, detailing their discussions about framing Rachel. The look of shock on their faces confirmed David's suspicions. Faced with undeniable proof, Linda and Carol had no choice but to resign. The room was abuzz with disbelief as Rachel's integrity was vindicated. David announced a thorough investigation into the promotion practices that had plagued Horizon Airlines for years. Days turned into weeks as Rachel continued to overhaul the company's policies. Employees who had previously felt silenced began to speak out, sharing their experiences and advocating for change. The culture of fear that had permeated Horizon Airlines was slowly eroding. Rachel implemented a new training program focused on empathy and customer service, ensuring that all employees understood the importance of genuine care in their roles. She worked closely with the Human Resources Department to establish clear guidelines for promotions, prioritizing merit over favoritism. Despite the positive changes, Rachel remained vigilant. She understood that there would always be those who resisted change, especially in a corporate environment steeped in old habits. With David's support, she organized regular feedback sessions where employees could voice their concerns and suggestions. This initiative fostered a sense of community and collaboration, allowing everyone to feel valued and heard. As weeks turned into months, Rachel's efforts began to pay off. Passenger satisfaction ratings soared, and former disgruntled employees returned, eager to be part of the new Horizon Airlines. David could see the transformation taking place. The once toxic environment was becoming a model of excellence in customer service. Finally, Rachel's efforts were recognized in a major corporate meeting, where David announced that she would be promoted to Vice President of Passenger Relations. Surrounded by her supportive colleagues, Rachel felt a wave of relief and triumph wash over her. She had fought against the odds and emerged victorious. As she walked through the bustling airport terminal, witnessing the positive interactions between employees and passengers, Rachel knew that the journey had only just begun. The challenges ahead would be significant, but she was no longer an overlooked employee. She was a leader, ready to ensure that Horizon Airlines would remain focused on genuine care and exceptional service. However, the tranquility of their success was soon disrupted. Rachel received an unexpected email from an unknown sender, warning her that she was making enemies within the company. The sender claimed that her reforms were stirring resentment among some of the old guard, and there were whispers of sabotage. Rachel shared this troubling news with David, who immediately took action. They organized a meeting with department heads to address the rumors and reinforce the commitment to the new corporate culture. David emphasized the importance of solidarity and encouraged everyone to support one another in the face of adversity. Despite their efforts, the threats continued. One day, during a routine meeting, Rachel discovered that someone had tampered with a critical presentation, replacing her slides with misleading information. The incident sent shockwaves through the room, but David remained calm, assuring everyone that they would find the culprit. Determined to uncover the truth, Rachel and David enlisted the help of a cybersecurity expert to investigate the source of the sabotage. After days of digging, they discovered that the tampering had originated from a computer in the office of a senior manager who had been resistant to change. Confronted with the evidence, the manager broke down and confessed to feeling threatened by Rachel's rise and the new direction of the company. David and Rachel listened carefully, recognizing that fear often drove people to act irrationally. Instead of invoking punishment, they offered support and suggested ways for the manager to adapt to the changes. As the weeks progressed, Rachel's leadership style evolved. She began to prioritize open communication, ensuring that all employees felt safe expressing their concerns. She organized workshops where staff could share their stories, fostering empathy and understanding across departments. The more Rachel engaged with her team, the more the culture began to shift. Employees who had once feared for their jobs now felt empowered to contribute ideas and solutions. The sense of camaraderie grew stronger, and the company's reputation began to flourish. Then came the day Rachel had been waiting for, the annual Employee Appreciation Event. It was a chance to celebrate the hard work of everyone at Horizon Airlines and to reinforce the new values they had adopted. David and Rachel planned an inspiring program, including awards for outstanding service and recognition for those who had embraced change. As Rachel stood before her colleagues, she felt a surge of pride. Today, we celebrate not just our achievements, but our commitment to each other and to our passengers, she declared. The room erupted in applause, and Rachel knew that they had created something special. With David's guidance and the support of her team, Rachel had turned the tide at Horizon Airlines. The toxic culture that once threatened to dismantle the company had been replaced with one of respect, integrity, and genuine care. Together, they had proven that compassion could thrive even in the competitive world of aviation, ensuring that Horizon Airlines was not just a business, but a community dedicated to serving its passengers with heart and excellence.